What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Redbeard Podcast. This is your boy Cooley. Today, we're going to talk about our most anticipated films of this fall cinematic season. We're also going to talk about maybe one of the films each of us aren't too happy or looking forward to see, I guess. And we're also going to talk about our most embarrassing moments when we were inebriated. So keep listening.
Redbeard Podcast is brought to you by these cool dudes.
And we're back, everybody. What's up? I got Jim Rock in the place.
Hello.
And Ren.
Hello.
What's up? How are you?
I'm all right. I'm here.
All right. What's going on, Tony?
Hello. How are you?
Hello, Governor.
Yes.
Hello.
I'm doing great.
I am also British. or Australian.
Whatever.
I don't do accents well.
Yo, we got.
Well, stop breathing.
It's been a long time since we got together last.
Hell yeah, man. It's been like a week.
A whole week.
Whole
7
week.
days? 7 days? A
We
long
all
time.
look different.
Has it been a whole week or has it been like a half week?
Well, to our fans, it's been a whole week. It's been a half
whole
week for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a week in quotes.
In quotes.
right.
It's been so long. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. So we got plenty of stuff to talk about today. We're going to talk about the movies we're most looking forward to. Tony, why don't you kick us off with that?
Oh my God. So the 3 movies that I'm looking forward to. So let's get into it. So I am really psyched that in the month of October, closer to Halloween, they're going to be coming out with the new revised version of Leatherface, which I don't know if you guys have actually seen the trailer for this, but it looks super gory. It actually looks like it's hardcore Leatherface. Like they are not pulling any punches this round.
Chainsaw? Do we hear chainsaws?
Oh, there's going to be plenty of chainsaws. It's being directed by Julian Maury. So I'm really excited about this. So it's got some actors who have been known to be in horror movies. So if you guys have seen The Conjuring, if you guys have seen The Haunting back in the day, Lily Taylor is actually in it. Not one of my favorite actresses, but she, I think, brings something interesting to the horror film genre.
What's her name?
Lily Taylor.
Okay.
So, yeah, she was the mother in The Conjuring. Also, Stephen Dorff is in it, and he's actually playing Texas Ranger Hal Hartman. So some other people. Those are the names
Good for
that kind
him
of
getting work.
yeah. Those are the names that kind of jump out. But I would just urge everybody to go online and check out the trailer because there are some bad ass scenes in this, man. Where they are. There's one scene in the trailer where he's literally sewing skin together because it's actually going to be like the face he puts on, like Leatherface, and it was super gory, like just like the skin being sewed. Very, very graphic. I mean, there's chainsaws going through people's faces. I mean, like this is in the trailer, so I can only imagine.
Was
what's
it a
gonna be
Red
in the
Band
film.
trailer?
Yeah, it was. It was hardcore Red Band.
I'm going to watch this.
There were actually several of them. All of them were different. They had those like core scenes you would see in like a trailer, but they threw in like these other like Easter eggs, you know, where it was like even more gore than you saw in the last one. So the last Texas Chainsaw Massacre was okay, but not really. With Jessica Biel, I wasn't a big fan of that. But this one seems like it's just going to be awesome. So I don't know if that's something that any of you guys are interested in seeing, but it's up there for me. Let's see. The other one that I'm looking forward to seeing, which I don't know if a lot of people are actually psyched about it, but I'm really looking forward to Jigsaw because it's a continuation in a sense of the Saw, saga. And me and my buddy Don, who's been on the podcast a couple times, we saw each Saw movie every single October when it came out. So I'm kind of excited to see that. But this is going to be like a different take where it's going to be like Jigsaw's point of view. It's going to be a whole different kind of rebirth of the franchise. So I'm excited to see that. And the guy who actually played Jigsaw is coming back. His name is Tobin Bell, which I thought he actually played Jigsaw very, very well. So I'm excited to see what he's going to bring to the table in this kind of rebirth of the franchise. And I mean, I think we're going to get what you pretty much expect from these movies, which is the whole Saw thing. You know what I mean? It's going to be somebody getting murdered in a very like grotesque way or a torturous way.
Yes, exactly. You're going to see a lot of saw blades.
Yeah.
Pitchforks. That scene, I obviously saw the trailer.
Yeah.
That scene in the silo where they're all buried in like corn seed. And you
Yeah,
just see
yeah.
stuff dropping from the...
Yeah, like all these like different like
Yep, you see like a scythe and saw blades and
Yeah.
like a pitchfork come down.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's like
man.
they can't move, but it's kind of like whatever's going to hit you is going to take you out.
I think we all know that I love when people get hurt.
Oh, dude.
In movies.
Yeah.
And this looks like a continuation of just some intolerable pain situations that I don't ever want to be put into. But if I get to watch it happen to someone else,
Then
Roger Ebert thumbs ups to that.
definitely. I mean, I think we're going to see some stupid people getting killed because they make dumb decisions.
Oh, yeah.
So that's going to be fun.
For the most part, they deserve it.
Yeah, of course, because
Not all of them.
Stupid decisions, man. I think the third movie that I'm super psyched to see, which isn't going to be until February, is Black Panther. I'm really looking forward to seeing like the next addition to the Marvel universe. I was super psyched when I saw Black Panther in the last movie he jumped into. That was a really cool teaser of what was to come, and I think that was Civil War. Was it Civil War that he was in? Yeah. So that was really awesome to kind of see what he's capable of.
And I think Chadwick Boseman is an excellent actor.
I was just going to say that.
I don't know if any of you have seen his take on James Brown. Excellent.
Oh, that was great, dude. Yeah, I did see that. That was awesome. So, I mean, yeah, Black Panther is probably my third. But I was looking through movies that are coming out, and there's one that I just kind of want to mention because I just need to make fun of it. And I can't believe they're doing this. It is a movie that I have no intention of seeing. And they're doing another Amityville movie, which is coming out on October 28th, and it's called Amityville: The Awakening. Now, you and I, Cooley, have talked about Amityville. A lot of people don't know that the Amityville house was sold about a year ago. It sold for like, I think, $1.4 million or something like that. It was actually bought, and people are living in it now. But if you were to drive by the Amityville house, you wouldn't know because they changed the house a lot. It doesn't have the eyes for windows anymore. It has like just very regular like rectangle windows. But it is still
that
there.
iconic look is gone.
Yes.
It is. But I mean, just look up the address, and I'm sure you can find it and take a picture, I guess. But the thing about this movie that I think is so dumb already is I read the premise, and it's like these people move into a house and then figure out down the line after stuff starts happening that they didn't realize it was the Amityville house.
Well, I think the mom
I
knew.
mean, like,
she just didn't
come
want to say anything
on.
to her kid. And also the
But it's like, I just feel like when you move into a house, like that stuff, maybe, I don't know, like when I moved into this house, I'm very into the paranormal, and I was like, yo, so I know an old guy lived here. Did he die in the house? He did not. He was moved somewhere else when he got sick, unfortunately, and passed away there. No one has died in the house, although I found stuff in my attic where I have pictures of people that were married that are probably, whatever, they are the members of the family that used to live here, but nobody died in the house.
But would
check that out.
But would a realtor want to confess stuff that's happened if they're trying to sell the Amityville
I think they
horror
have
house
to by law.
to a normal
You do,
family?
because, no, you have to by law.
But do they? They don't always do that.
You
No, they're
have
not
to
gonna
by
offer
law
it up.
because people were murdered
Yeah.
in the house. That's something you have to
Disclose.
put on
But
the
I feel like that's a
disclose. Thank
huge
you.
deal breaker if the family comes in and they're like, this is just what we're looking for and at the price we want. I'm ready to sign. And she's like, well, before you do, At least a dozen murders have happened in this house.
Yeah, but
and we to this day don't know why.
Yeah, but I mean, like, true, but you can't. You have to disclose that.
Yeah, you could lose your license.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So, and I'm sure that when stuff happens, that's what happens to that realtor. But whatever.
Right.
I had to bring that up. So those are my 3 plus the one I won't see.
If you were, unless you were drunk.
Unless I was drunk.
All right.
Yeah, I'd have to be drunk to see that.
All right.
Yep.
Cool. All right, moving right along, we're gonna jump over to Ren.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi.
I'm great.
Hit me with the 3 movies that you are most looking forward to.
So my tree. First off, I'm a big Guillermo del Toro fan. Maybe his
Yeah.
storylines aren't the best
Watch The
normally.
Strain.
Yeah. But his character designs are great. So I'm very interested in The Shape of Water.
Yeah.
Very reminiscent creature of Abe from Hellboy.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if there's like some kind of connection, but it's got like a BPRD kind of feel to it, and I'm interested in that. That's my first one. Second one is the new Blade Runner. I hate Ryan Gosling so much. I think he has no range. I think that he is not attractive. He's an attractive Canadian maybe, but he's got an eggplant shaped head.
You and my wife disagree on that.
Oh my god.
Oh my
no.
Yes.
I think that he's just got a meme for being like a nice, like, hey girl kind of guy.
Sup, girl?
Yeah, like sup girl. But like, I just think he's terrible. Like I really do. He's got no range. And to cast him in something that like Harrison Ford made famous, and Harrison Ford's like a very attractive guy, and he's like a rugged, like sexy guy.
Still attractive? Do you still find him attractive?
Yeah, like recently he was seen on like TMZ directing traffic because he's like, I don't have time to wait in New York City.
Which is weird because he smokes a lot of pot. You think he has time on his hands?
No,
Get out of my lane.
he like got out of his own car and was yelling at.
like that.
He was yelling at his driver. He's like, come on, back it up. We got places to go. I thought it was so funny. I'm interested to see what they do with it. They're
Yep.
probably going to murder it.
Can I ask you something while we're on the Blade Runner thing? So, I had seen Blade Runner in pieces, and I don't want to make this a big thing.
Okay.
But I'm a big fan of Ridley Scott. I saw Blade Runner in its entirety maybe like 4 months ago. I watched the entire thing. I didn't really like it.
It is definitely not for everyone. It is a droning movie. It hasn't aged very well. It's kind of goofy in some spots.
Yeah. And I think, and I'm just going to say it, I love Harrison Ford, but I think his acting in this was atrocious. Like, and it was one of his first movies, so maybe that's why. But he was horrible in this. Like, I'm sorry, I'm going to say
It's
that.
a hard character also, I think, to play. You never really get a good vibe on it because everybody is very robotic and I don't know. It's such a weird kind of movie, but it's a cult classic. So to remake a cult classic is very like
All right.
you are treading water with that.
I
So
am.
I'm interested to see what they did, but it also might be something I have to be drunk to see. I feel like it's just
I agree with you on that completely.
yeah, it's going to be long and droning, and I'm just going to see it to see what's up with it, but I'm interested. It's in my movies to see. My third is a weird one that no one else is going to have. I think it's called Coco. It's a new animated film. It looks along the lines of Book of Life that came out, and it's I think Disney's doing it. I'm not sure. It's
it's Pixar.
It's Pixar. Yeah.
Oh, so of course it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, but Book of Life had come out, and they talked about like Mexican like Day of the Dead. They talk about the afterlife, their beliefs, and I thought that was really cool and very important because normally things we see are like, here's all white stories.
Yeah.
Wall-E.
Yeah.
Wall-E. Up.
So Coco just looks interesting. I love the aesthetic of, Day of the Dead, the way they view the afterlife. So I'm very interested in that film.
Awesome. Hell yeah.
And
Good picks.
My drunk one would have to be any of the comic movies coming out. Like Justice League, I'm going to need to be drunk to see that. The goofy trailers they keep throwing out there. I'm like, I don't know. They're trying to throw too much humor into this. I'm gonna have to be drunk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to
All
be
right.
a little tipsy.
Word.
All right, Jim. That brings us to you.
Yes. All right. The majority of my movies are not going to be. They're going to be big blockbusters because that's what I love to see in theaters. I love to see explosions and action and mostly poorly written dialogue.
Yeah, you spend money on the movies that they spent money to make, right?
These
Yeah.
are the movies that will probably win Academy Awards for their special effects and not for their acting.
Okay.
I extremely want to see. It's coming out later. It's coming out next year, but I can't wait to see Pacific Rim Uprising.
Oh, I
you've
forgot
talked
about
about
that.
Yeah, you've talked about that.
Giant robots fighting against monsters.
Mm-hmm.
How can you not be excited about this?
Absolutely.
I
John
love the
Boyega,
first.
who was in Star Wars, is going to be playing the main character. I can't wait to see, because the first movie with Charlie Hunnam, I'm not a big fan of his. It's a lot of fun to watch him go in and out of his Australian accent. You can see that happen in any show that he's ever been in. But just for the aesthetic, for the robots, and for just the overall fun of the movie, I felt like it was. And you got to watch it for Idris Elba, the original one.
Oh yeah.
The original movie was just straight through. It was 2 hours of just pure, mindless indulgence. If I had anything to say about the first one, they really should have made that four-armed robot more prominent. He was the coolest guy. He had a bunch of swords. And
No,
they
he's
just,
three-armed. Because it's the three brothers.
yeah, well, he was so cool, I'm adding an arm. It was such a fun movie.
It was awesome.
And I expect them to only build on that with this movie coming up.
Nice.
The comic books have been really great, so
Yep.
I hope they continue with that.
Speaking of John Boyega, I feel like it's unfair not to bring this movie up. Coming up in December is the new Star Wars movie.
Nice.
I can't wait for it. I did think that the last Star Wars movie that came out was a little formulaic. It felt a lot like A New Hope, but it was still just classic Star Wars.
Are you talking about Rogue One, or are you talking about the other Star Wars?
Oh, yeah, no, I apologize. No, I'm not talking about Rogue One. I think that help me out here. I don't know why I
can't even remember the name of the
think
other
of the
one, 'cause
name
I'm not.
of the last
Cooley.
Star Wars. So many
Not
people are
Rogue
going to
One,
punch me in the face.
Star Wars that came out before that. The
Force Awakens.
Thank you.
Oh,
There you
my
go. Force
God.
Awakens. Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
Force
I
Awakens.
I apologize to any Star Wars fans.
Oh yeah, I
that are
sound like a
listening,
jerk for not knowing, but
because
I just
I've
can't
seen
remember
this
it.
movie way more times than I've needed to.
Yeah, I've seen it 4 times and I forgot.
But it has that nostalgic feel of it. When I was watching it, it felt like I was watching the original Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know, I saw Star Wars 1 through 3. You know, the Phantom Menace and all the way up to the Revenge of the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
I watched those, and it just didn't have the feel of the original ones.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one, The Force Awakens, was excellent. It truly felt like the next step in the Star Wars saga, and I am excited to see what they are going to do now. I can't wait to see the Princess Leia cameo in it. I want to see what they do with that.
sorry.
That said, I really am excited to see how they are going to bring forth the storyline, because I think we all agree that Force Awakens was an homage to the original 3, and I believe that The Last Jedi is going to really start coming into its own and really kind of delving into the new world of Star Wars that has been developed with Force Awakens. And also coming out very shortly, I cannot wait for Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Oh man, I cannot wait for it. This does seem like another mindless indulgence movie. It looks kind of like a buddy cop movie. You've got Thor and you've got Hulk, who just can't get himself a decent feature movie. but we're going to buddy him up with Thor, who has kind of now become like the new comic relief of the Marvel Universe. I think for a while it was Iron Man, and now they kind of turned Thor into a comic spoof almost of himself from the comics. They kind of poke a little fun at Thor and his misunderstanding of the human race and how different maybe he is in comparison to them. But I love how they brought it into space. I'd love to know how the Hulk found himself in space. You can tell they're not going to take itself too seriously because it kind of has all the 80s graphics. It's got Jeff Goldblum that you can't look at him today and think to yourself, this is a serious role. I also can't wait to see him get redeemed after Independence Day resurgence.
Apartments.com.
I thought he was the only good thing that came out of that movie. He seemed like the only person that actually took that movie seriously, and I felt bad for him because it's such a great franchise, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do with the lore of Thor and Hulk going forward.
Definitely.
Nice. And what are you going to have to be drunk to go see?
Okay. I would say any horror movie I'd have to be drunk for. I think we've made it very apparent that I get extremely anxious when it comes to horror movies. What are you doing?
You're going to have to be drunk to see it at home.
I'm gonna watch it at home, and I literally can't be in the same room as that movie when I think something's about to jump out at the TV.
Yo,
That's no joke. I have to be at least 25 feet away from my TV when I think something is going to pop out, and I also have to turn the volume down low.
Oh my god.
And I have to have some obstruction. Like I will pick up a lamp and put the shade in front of one of my eyes.
Yo, and
there's a good chance I'll break that lamp.
You and I watched The Conjuring together. I convinced you to watch it, dude. And I told you when the jump scares were coming, and I didn't screw with you. So, can we watch it together if I tell you when the jump scares are coming?
No, we can do that.
All right.
Also, if I'm being honest, if I can give an honorable mention, I was always a big fan of Independence Day. That's my favorite movie. A lot of people are going to make fun of me for it.
Great movie.
But because of that, I was always a fan of Roland Emmerich movies, big blockbusters that are just mindless, terrible dialogue. You're just watching it for the special effects. And there's a movie coming out that I am shocked Roland Emmerich is not directing, and it is called Geostorm.
Oh, it looks awful.
It looks terrible. Gerard Butler and Andy Garcia at the end of their careers. And it is about satellites that can control the weather, that get hacked, and just demolish the world.
Just watch the trailer and you'll laugh when you look up and see a plane coming towards this.
Oh my god.
So stupid.
It looks garbage.
my
I
God.
want to see it, but I can't be sober for it
So there
because
you
I
go.
know what I'm in for.
All right. There you go. Cooley.
Nice.
What are your 3 movies and plus the one that you need to be a little drunk for?
All right, I'm going to start off with one that's coming in a couple of weeks, few weeks, in October. October 13th is going to see the release of Happy Death Day. I don't know if anybody's seen the previews for this.
I have.
I have not.
It is basically a twist on a trope that I really, really love, and that's the Groundhog Day.
I did hear about this. Yeah.
And it's basically this girl who wakes up and goes throughout her day. It's her birthday, and she goes to a birthday party, and she ends up getting murdered. When she gets murdered, she wakes up again, and she goes through the same day several times until she can figure out who it is that's trying to kill her and stop herself from being killed. And that's the only way that she can break the cycle. So I mean, I've seen a few movies that kind of, use that same, idea or concept, and they do different things and they put different twists on it. And every time I love it, just because I love the whole idea of that, live, die, repeat.
Yes.
With Tom Cruise and, of course, Groundhog Day. There was Daybreak, which was what's that? Tay Diggs was the star of this. It was on TV. It was actually a TV show, and every episode was like the same day over. And he had to change like little things throughout the day to stop himself from getting killed. And
There's
like
one
it's
with
just
Eric Von Denton from Disney. That's my favorite one.
what's that?
Oh my God, that's the best one. There's a little old lady eating tuna fish, and he steals from his grocery store to get her food.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have to watch it.
It's so
You
good.
paint such an amazing picture.
I love it. Like there's two things that I love that I'll always be a fan of, I believe, and that's the repeating the same day over and over again, and the Freaky Friday concept where people switch minds for a specific amount of time or whatever. Because I just love the idea of character exploration, like putting them out of their comfort zone and making them live a different life.
Oh yeah.
It's just awesome. Like there's actually a comic book out right now called Crosswind. That's by Boom, I think it's Boom or
I
Image.
think it's
I can't.
Boom.
But Gail Simone is writing it, and it's basically a housewife that switches minds with a mafia hitman, and it's amazing. It's absolutely
The
fantastic.
art is real good.
What's that?
The art is pretty good.
Yeah, it is. It is. So yeah, that's the first movie that I'm going to throw out there, just because it looks great. It looks like a lot of fun. It could be complete trash, but just the fact that it's one of these Groundhog Day things, I think it's just going to win me over, that like based on that, and I'm going to watch it and enjoy it unless they do something really stupid. There's nobody important in this movie yet. Like they're not important yet. Let's put it that way. Like it looks like they're all fresh faces. Nobody that we would know. So yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
looking
they
forward
pulled
to
in
it.
one of the actors from Disturbia, so like, who remembers that? So,
Yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. I mean, the second movie Jim swiped right from me, and that's the Thor Ragnarok.
I knew that I was stealing it.
Yeah,
right
I
under
mean, I
you.
am all about that. That's man, geez, I can't say anything more than what you already said, except I'm also looking forward to like Valkyrie. I want to see how it ties into Infinity War, because it's got to tie into Infinity War, because we're rolling right into that next year. Between that and Black Panther, like they got to be setting something up big. Hopefully we get to see. I mean, they're going to be in space, so I mean, it's hopefully it ties Thanos into this somehow.
yeah.
But we don't know, so we'll see when it happens. But yeah, it does look like a good buddy comedy. And it looks like it's not going to take itself too seriously. What you were saying, the whole thing about like using Thor as a comedic character, like a comic relief. Chris Hemsworth actually, perpetuated a lot of that by doing like these little skits.
Yeah, the ones where he's like living with that guy.
No, I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, I know what you're
Yeah.
talking
I think he has
about.
good comedic timing.
Yeah, he's awesome. That
He
dude
was-
is great.
He was one of the personally for me, one of the saving graces of the new Ghostbusters movie.
Oh, absolutely.
I
Oh,
enjoyed
yeah,
watching
he was.
him.
He
in
was
that
the best
movie.
part. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say the best part, but yeah, he was definitely
No,
one
he
of
was
the
the best
saving
part.
graces.
Best part. Let's not go down that rabbit hole.
All right, let's move on.
Third
No,
movie.
move it
Third
along.
movie.
We're derailing here.
If you want to really get derailed, talk to us about The Big Bang Theory.
Next week.
Another day, another time for another day.
But yeah, so Thor Ragnarok, I'm definitely looking forward to. It looks like they're going to pull out all the stops on that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And third, jeez. I mean, like, I don't want to repeat what everybody's been saying. I mean, I definitely want to see Blade Runner, and I definitely want to see Star Wars and Black Panther. Absolutely. So instead of retreading, I mean, I guess I'm going to go and say...
Daddy's Home too.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, I do.
Really?
Still haven't seen Daddy's Home.
No, I only want to see it because of John Lithgow and Mel Gibson.
I still haven't seen Daddy's Home 1.
It's not worth
Can
it.
I've
we
heard that it's
edit
great.
this?
Huh?
I
Go
said,
for it.
can we edit that out?
All right, go ahead. So third movie, what is it?
I don't know. I'm stumped.
All right.
I'm stumped for what my third movie is going to be. Jeez.
Well, what movie would you have to see, but you have to be drunk to see it?
No, I mean, I'd have to be drunk to like see it, not have to see it. I don't have to see this movie. I have to not see this movie, but I'd have to be drunk for you to get me there. The Snowman.
The Snowman.
Oh,
dude,
God.
that was the one I was on with Amityville,
Yeah,
dude.
I mean,
the only saving grace was Michael Fassbender.
I tried to watch the trailer again, and like, cause like there's a new trailer, and I thought maybe they'd cut it differently, maybe.
It's awful.
Nope.
But it still looks like it's a Saturday Night Live skit with Michael Fassbender. Yeah,
It really does.
It's like, it looks horrible. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, you'd have to like not only get me drunk, but I'd have to like have some serious like. You'd have to pump me full of some kind of like, tramadol or something and like, wheel me in. Cause
I just don't understand how they this trailer is taken seriously when they cut to it's a shot of a snowman's head falling off, and it just cuts to a guy going, "Oh, he's playing with us," and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
And then there's
What?
like this voice in the background.
man.
I gave you all the clues.
Yeah. So
You don't know.
bad.
I feel like eventually you'll fall on
You
this
could
movie.
have saved her.
Oh, that was good. That was good. Oh, man.
So yeah, that's that. I mean, like, I'm not even. I could come up with a third movie, but it would just be. I'd just be coming up with it to come up with it.
What about the My Little Pony movie?
Meh, meh, meh.
No?
No,
That's
I'd
a
see
drunk
that before
one.
The Snowman, though.
Tyler Perry's Boo 2.
I want to
Madea
see
Halloween.
that so bad, though.
I'm sorry.
I want to see that because one, you have to go to the Providence Theater because of the crowd that's going to be there. Two, get drunk AF. Three, bring lots of snacks, and you will have just people popping off all around you.
I don't know.
It's going to be wild.
You know what?
I feel like that's the black
What?
version.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the black version of Ernest Scared Stupid.
I will throw
Like
one
it's
out
just
there.
not going to be
What's
good.
yours? What do you got, Cooley?
I will throw one out there. Flatliners.
Yes.
Ooh,
Nope.
Thank you.
Nope.
Thank
Have
you.
to be
Thank
drunk.
you.
Have to be drunk.
No, I do not have to be drunk for
Nope.
that because I watched the trailer the other day and I almost like passed out because Keith Sutherland makes a cameo and he was in the original Flatliners. So I am pumped for that moment, for that second that he is on screen. I don't care how short-lived it is. The fact that he's in it gives me some hope for that movie.
I don't know. You just don't need to remake that at all. And like
True, you don't.
Ellen Page, I love Ellen Page, but
I
like
don't.
the more I see her and stuff, I dislike her. Like
Thank you, because I completely agree with you on that. I watched the trailer the other day, and I saw it for the third time, and when I saw her face that time, I was like, why does she have to be in this?
yeah.
Get someone else. You know what I mean? She
Seriously.
annoys me. She annoys me.
Oh,
So
I
thank
thought
you.
the trailers looked good, and she
Yeah.
didn't annoy me at all. I actually like Ellen Page.
Yeah, I don't
and she's
know.
not like
Something
wearing
about
thin
her.
on me. I think she's a good actress. Actor. It's 2017. She's an actor.
Well, that's for another conversation. So I think Ren and I just get it. I don't know what it is. But anyway.
Yeah, you guys just get it.
No,
we don't get it.
No, we get
Jim.
why we don't like
I don't want
like
to be
her.
part
Yeah.
of this.
Yeah, it's the you know what I mean?
So
Yeah,
who
okay.
here is drinking already?
Oh, all of us.
Can you hear this in the?
You're drinking
the
a
microphone?
polar
I
I
seltzer
can
water.
definitely hear that.
We got
Yeah.
3 Jack and Cokes and a Polar.
It's a juice one though.
It's
It's not
alright.
it's not like a water one, it's a juice one.
We'll
Pink
give you something
grapefruit?
for that. Yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're
It's
gonna
really
take a quick
good.
break, and we'll be back with the most embarrassing moments while inebriated.
Now let's just take a second to hear a little bit about our sponsor. Supply and demand investing. Guys, not all investments are created equal. Did you know growth stocks devote most of their revenue in trying to expand or grow the company and offer investors little to no dividend payout?
Sounds like fucking bullshit.
Right? But value stocks split their revenue between trying to expand or grow the company and give their buyers dividend payouts.
That sounds better.
But the question is, which of these two means of investing do you think has performed better over the past 10 years? Well, to find out, go to supplyanddemandinvesting.com/redbeard. That's us, guys. Go to supplyanddemandinvesting.com/redbeard. Supply and demand investing helps compare investments in the hopes of delivering better than average results, whether they be long-term, short-term, or just something in the middle. And remember, like any good sports team,
Like the New York Football Giants.
yeah, when it comes to investing, there are times to play offense by investing in things like the S&P 500, and times to play defense by investing in things like bonds, CDs, or cash. So I say, go Patriots!
Yeah, but if we're talking defense, it's the New York Football Giants all day.
Yeah, but it's the Pats because they won last year.
Welcome back, everybody, and we're going to jump right in and ask Ren,
Hello.
what is your most embarrassing moment while inebriated?
Oh, man.
Inebriated.
Like, oh, I have so many embarrassing moments sober. So I have like several, and they always happen at the same place.
Do you believe in love?
It's called Soul Power. It happens at dusk, like twice a month. And it's like, it's a good time because it's soul music. It's boogaloo, and I put a little cute dress on, and I'm with lots of guys around me who are like, would you like a free drink? And I'm like, yes, I would like a free drink. And the high lifes are really cheap, and I'm usually like 1 drink in, I'm balancing beer on top of my head. 2 drinks in, I'm balancing all kinds of beer all over my body to show I can balance things. And then 3 drinks in, I'm like really loose, and I'm like, I'm gonna go dance on the go-go box. And 4 drinks in, then it's all downhill from there. But I remember specifically one night, oh man, they all blend in. It could have been the same night. There was one night where I just disappeared for like an hour and was like, 1, super dehydrated, 2, had walking pneumonia, 3, I was like crying and just like walking around outside, and a guy was like, hey, let me tell you about like my car painting business. And I was like, cool, dog. And he like trapped me outside for a half hour just talking about it. And everyone just thought I was dead, and everyone else was drunk, so they didn't come out looking for me. And I was like, I'm trapped, help.
Oh my God.
And this guy was just talking to me about his car painting business, and I was like, cool. Maybe in the same night, I like also just like cried on the sidewalk, and everyone looked at me and kept a good perimeter around me.
Oh my God.
But I think the absolute worst was like me going to work the next day, still very drunk, not even hungover yet. And I used to commute because the parking garage at the Province Place Mall is $20 to park a day if you work full-time shifts. So
D&B.
yeah, absolutely not. So I was like, I take the $2 bus, and that's what I'm going to do. So I bust it. I'm on the bus. I'm like, I'm doing okay. I've only been up for 3 hours. Feel very not good. Sitting on the bus. It's rocking. I'm like, I'm not going to puke. I'm fine. Hit Kennedy Plaza, the bus station, and I just needed to throw up so violently. I was like, I'm going to be that person. I'm going to throw up on the bus. Holy crap. I'm going to throw up in front of like homeless people who are covered in pee, and I'm going to be the problematic one. It's going to be me. So we're like, open those doors, baby. Open those doors. Open the doors, ran off, puke like 8 feet from the bus in the middle of the street. But it was like all water, so I played it off. I did like a drive-by puke. I was like, burp, throw up on the ground, keep walking. Get in front of the very get in front of like the very like prestigious Biltmore Hotel. This is where the real big puke comes. But there's a trash can there, and also like 4 doormen. So they see me just like hurl my lungs out into this garbage can. So panic mode Ren goes, let's pretend to be pregnant instead of really, really drunk. So I'm like holding my belly, like puffing it up while also like throwing up, really like retching into this garbage can.
It's not me, it's the baby.
Yeah. So I like look up. I like look up all cutesy, kind of like one eye's closed from the stress of throwing up, and I'm a little drool on my lip, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, morning sickness. And the guy's like, do you need to come in and use a rest facility? And I'm like, oh no, I'll be fine.
I'm throwing up for 2.
Yeah. So I like get 10 feet away, I get 10 feet away, and this is like in the winter-ish time. So I have a mitten in my pocket, and I already feel like I need to throw up again. So I whip the mitten out, and I think holding, like when you put your hand over your mouth, you think that you can hold it in better. So I put the little mitten over my mouth.
You did the sprinkler, didn't you?
It wasn't even the sprinkler. It was the fire hose up into my glasses.
So it's like The Exorcist outside.
Yeah, up into my glasses specifically. It didn't sprinkler out the other way. I had good pressure on the chin and cheeks, just bad pressure in the nose area.
Oh, God.
Up. So now I have to take my glasses off. I am like legally blind. So.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
All in front of the Biltmore.
In front of the Biltmore. And. Woo! I make it to work. I threw myself down on the ground. And I just threw up in the bathroom for like 20 minutes. And I was like, cool, let's do this. And I went out and I worked, and no one knew that I was like really, really drunk that day.
All right, word.
Nice. Hey, at least there was a good ending to
Hashtag blessed.
it. Yeah. You survived.
Hashtag blessed.
I survived. I lived.
I'm gonna tell you. At first, I thought this was a really like safe story. Like, I mean, I thought you were playing it really safe, and I was like, I don't know where she's going with this. And then it got good. That was good.
No, I threw up all the time. No, my drunk stories
All the
are
time.
all the same. Like there's no like very embarrassing, because I'm always embarrassing. Like it's like, oh, is that my ex-boyfriend's best friend? I'm gonna keep rubbing on him till he touches my butt. Like that's like that's me. That's all I do. Shout out to everyone who knows exactly who that friend is.
Woo! Oh, man. All right, well.
Tony.
Okay, damn, you're going to jump into me. Okay. Word. Okay, so, man, there's a couple stories that come to mind. So let's start with number one. Okay, number one would be, so me and my buddy, we were hanging out pretty regularly at the time, and we were just like, you know what, let's, like, what do you do? We were both single, and we were like, man, like, we were talking about how we hated.
I like where this is going.
Me too.
Yeah, I know, isn't it good? We actually, actually, that you say that, it kind of makes it funny where this is going. So we both actually were pretty, like, pissed off that, like, we both hated Valentine's Day, because every time Valentine's Day came around, we were just like, this is bullshit. Like, I hate this holiday, whatever. It's kind of depressing. So we decided, we're like, yo, man, like, you want to, like, let's hang out on Valentine's Day and then go to the club, right?
No.
So this is what happened. So, like, but this night started off just like, I don't even know, like, let's just hang out at my house first and then see, like, decide what we're gonna do.
Right.
So we hang out at my house, and we just started having a couple drinks and, like, goofing off, like, had some music playing, just like whatever. And then finally, I forgot whose brilliant idea it was, but we were like, let's do shots, right? But it wasn't like, let's do shots. It was like, let's do shots, but let's play war with shots of Captain Morgan. So basically,
So, like, for every turn, you did a shot?
no, it was everyone that actually, no, it was the winner of each game. But, like, war goes by pretty quick, right? So literally, like, there were 3 rounds of war, dude, and I was like 4 shots in of Captain Morgan, right? Mm-hmm. And, like, by the 3rd shot, I was like, I probably should not do another one, but fuck it, and I did another one. And then, not to mention, I had, like, a drink as well. So, like, we're going, right? So an hour later, I'm, like, feeling it. Like, I'm like, all right, man, like, shit's about to go down, right? So basically, so I knew something was wrong when I was like, yo, man, I'm going to go into the other room, change my shirt, and then we're going to head to the club, right? So now I go into the other room and I'm changing my shirt, man, and I just hear my buddy in the other room going, he goes, what are you looking at? And I'm like, what? And then he's like, and he doesn't respond. And then he goes, I said, what are you looking at? And I'm like, what are you talking about, man? I'm changing my shirt. He's like, yo, he's like, you better tell your boy to stop eyeing me. So I'm like, what is going on? I go into the other room, right? My buddy is so cocked that I used to have this thing, like it's a thing that you mount on a wall where you would hang like pots and pans from. But I like got this parrot that I just won at Dave and Buster's, and I put it there, sitting there. My buddy was so cocked.
Fake parrot. I just want to make sure
Fake
it's a
parrot.
fake parrot.
He looks
Dave
at the
and Buster's
parrot.
just isn't giving out tropical
no,
birds.
No, he looks at this fake
for
parrot.
1,000 tickets.
And he starts talking shit to the people. He's like, yo, you better tell your boy to stop. I'm like, bro, like, it's a parrot. He's like, I'm like, yo, let's. So what's the best solution to this? Let's get in a car, right? So I get in the car with my friend, drive to level 2, the worst club in Providence at the time. Get in, right?
Oh, I enjoyed that.
No, so I'm walking around, I'm just dancing, whatever. So I knew I was pretty intoxicated. You know,
I just got this picture in my head.
Yeah.
Of you just walking around and dancing.
Yeah. So
Just walking around.
Yeah.
It's just like the gayest thing.
Dude, I was probably one of 15 white guys in the club. So anyway, so I'm in this club, right? So I start dancing with this girl, right? And this is the best part. You know you're intoxicated where halfway through the dance and you guys are grinding. I just decide I don't want to dance anymore.
Oh my
so
God.
mid-song, I just stop and walk away. I just walk away, right? And then I'm like, yo, I find my buddy. I can't find him. I don't know what he's doing. He's like, he was in the bathroom, I think, throwing up. Anyway, so we get home, right? And you know how like you have that moment with your friend where you make an agreement at the beginning and then yo, we're not gonna let anybody drive home, right? But then you get back to your house and you just go, yo, you good?
Yeah.
and you just like, yup, all right, he agreed, even though we're both smart, right? So like he leaves. I wake up the next morning, right? And it's kind of like that thing where I sat up in my bed like, and I'm just like, oh shit, I let him drive home. And then I literally call like my friend. I'm like, yo, he's not picking up. Like it's 2 hours. I'm like losing my mind, right? So finally I get a hold of him and he's like, yo, what's up? I'm like, yo. I was like, you all right? He's like, yeah. I fell asleep. I passed out like in my room as soon as I got home. I'm like, all right, dude. Because he had like a 20-minute ride home. So that probably was like the most embarrassing moment that like I went out like that, you know what I mean? And the fact that like I let him, that was probably my biggest regret.
Like that feeling of irresponsibility.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how am I going to explain this? Like what? And then like, it was also pretty bad that like I went out. You had a night of irresponsibility when you go out, and I don't even know if you guys have done this, and the fact that I know what it's called, I knows I've done it probably more than once, is you would get out, leave your house hungover and go downstairs and do a 4-point check on your car to make sure like nothing was.
Oh my God, I've never done that.
I was like, I'm pretty sure everything's good, but I'm like, all sides are good. You know, like that's.
There's no blood in the hair on my bumper.
Oh Jesus. It's more or less like it's not dented, but like yeah. So that would be story number 1. I'll quickly go through story number 2. That was and I'm probably going to only get through 2 just in the interest of time rather. So I'm driving with a couple of my friends, 2 of my friends. One of them may be in the room or not, and we decided one night that we were going to go to the club. So we go out, we're drinking, whatever. So if you guys are familiar with Providence and you know where P-PAC is, we're in front of P-PAC, and I was the designated driver. And the fact that I was the designated driver and was feeling a little tipsy is probably it's not the best to admit, but whatever. So I'm in the car, and there's a point where you can either go straight with P-PAC on your right and get right onto the highway, or you can take a left where Sax's Pizza used to be. And for some reason, this cop decided that he was going to block that road and make everybody go down this way, which would extend my commute home about another hour. Okay? So I was like, I could just go down this street and take a right? So basically, I got 2 people with me in the car.
I'm one of them. I just realized the story you were telling.
So
I was like the devil on your shoulder.
Yeah, so I'm gonna. So okay, I wasn't gonna use names, but now that he's admitted this, the story is gonna get better. So basically, I got Jim sitting next to me, and I got Scott, my buddy, in the back seat. Right?
He's married with kids now.
Yeah, and I'm actually DJing his brother's wedding in New Hampshire this weekend. So anyway. It's just gonna be so much fun. But anyway, there's enough room between the cop and the cone that he put out, and plenty of room for a car to get through and go down that street, or for me to take a left. And I'm sitting in traffic and I'm like, why is this cop like blocking this road, man? Like there's clearly no construction. Why is he making us go around like the block? And so Scott's like, yeah, man, I don't know. Probably like just you gotta go where he said. And I'm like, yeah, this is bullshit. And Jim's like, yo, he's like, you should totally like, we could make it, man. Like you should just go. And I'm like, oh yeah, but there's still such enough room though. Like we totally could. And so I'm about to take a left, and I was like, yo, he's not looking. And so Jim's like, do it. And Scott's like, no, dude, you sure totally didn't do it. Don't do it, man. And Jim's like, you got enough room. He's not looking. So I'm like, screw it. So I literally take a right, like go, and I'm almost 75% down the road, and I just hear the cop go, yo, stop the car. I'm like, nope. I go, I turn, I get on the highway, and I go, and so I get home, and on the way home, I'm like, as I'm on the highway, I'm like, I'm so screwed. He got my license plate. I know he got my license plate. I'm so screwed. And so finally, like, I get home, I'm like, I can't sleep. I'm like freaking out. Like, there's going to be a cop at my door. Nothing ever comes of it, right? But that was probably the one time where I was like, I hate you, Jim. like why? But it was all me. Like it was all me. No matter what he said, it was all me that I made that decision. So after I was like, oh, I'm such a. But it's like it's one of those moments where it's like I don't think that he actually expected me to do it, but I did. And the fact that I got away with it is a miracle, and I regret every moment of that. But that was probably, I think, most embarrassing, like the day after that's ever happened to me.
I had a very sound drunk thought process to that thing. And my thought was, this guy's directing traffic. He's not going to get in his car and chase you, because then if he leaves, then there's going to be chaos because everyone's just going to follow us. So if we're the assholes, he's just going to be like, oh, whatever. There's one guy.
Right.
We'll catch the next one.
Right.
It did work, though.
It did work. I mean, but it's probably not the best decision. So anyway, Cooley, go for it. And then we're going to jump into Jim.
So I got a couple.
Is your thought process that I'm going to have like the worst?
No.
I told my story, but I totally left out the one where I almost died.
No, we might have to go back to that. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll but anyway, definitely circle around.
Let's jump into Coolies.
Yeah. So I got a couple. One was a New Year's Eve story. You ever hear of Shooters?
Yes.
Of course, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we went to Shooters for New Year's Eve. That was the thing to do back then. This is going way back, to my partying days.
85?
Yeah, no, not 85.
I'm just kidding.
Like 89-ish. Like 89, 90.
I was born then.
Oh, what a jerk.
So like 89, 90, we went there, and it was just me and a couple of the guys just chilling, bringing in the new year. And, there, of course, we're like, we were definitely on the prowl, right? And we met a couple of young ladies. Nice. We're hanging out and doing our thing. Now, back then, we're talking 89, 90, like, there were shoes that I used to wear. I used to actually look for these shoes.
Everyone loves shoes.
They were called Elise or Ellis, or I don't know like the actual pronunciation, but it was Elisse. And they were like this like luxury shoe, right? And, like they were made out of like this like soft like smooth leather material, and the sole was like really smooth. And anyway, they were light shoes, and you go out and you're chilling. Happened to be this patch of like just like wet area on the ground, and with like no traction on these shoes that I thought were so great to wear out. Like I hit the floor within like half a second. Oh, no. Because I've always been a big dude, so there's a lot that gravity has to play with here, and it just it did work. Yeah, those are the ones, man. And like they had different kinds, different colors and stuff like that. But yeah, those are the shoes. But yeah, gravity just like did work that night and just pulled me down so fast. It was like I was there and the next second I was gone. And the worst part about it was that the more I tried to get up, the more I hit the ground. Like I just like, because there was just zero traction. So every time I tried to stand up, I couldn't get a foothold and I would just go right back down. And that lasted about 30 to 40 seconds. And it was like, and this is like, I'm hanging out with like some new girls and it's like all of a sudden, like here I am just like hitting the ground, can't stand up. And it was wet and it was like, it wasn't just water. It was like some kind of like, beverage that got spilled. So, like I'm wearing a light colored outfit and like now that's all like stained and like horrible looking. So like I got up and I was just like, I'm going to excuse myself, went to the bathroom and then I never came back. I literally like snuck out of the club and just bounced. I was done for the night. But yeah, that was the first one. The second one, I got to keep this PG-13. I mean, I know there's going to be some youngsters listening to this for sure. So I'm going to keep this PG-13. So use your imagination here. I went to a birthday party of a close friend, and I'm not going to mention this friend's name because if I do, this is going to people are going to be able to put two and two together. It was probably about 20 years ago. And this was a party that we all decided that we were going to, just sleep over. It was kind of like a lock-in. We're gonna have fun. Nobody's gonna have to worry about driving home. We're just gonna chill out. So went there, did our thing, had fun, drank, ate. Then we all hung out around the fire, talked, all that stuff. So the end of the night comes and it's like time to, cash it in. We're getting ready to all just crash, go to bed. And we decide, a friend of mine and I back then, we decided, hey, maybe we should have sandwiches. Right? And, that sounded like a great idea at the time. So we're like, hey, why not? And it's like we made sure that, we were going to be adult about it. And, we were grown-ups and we weren't going to, be awkward after having a sandwich with each other. And, because, that sandwich could be great, but the sandwich could also, maybe the bacon's not crispy enough. Maybe it's, who knows? But we weren't going to dwell on that. We made sure that was out in the open. So, we're in the process of having this sandwich and it was a good sandwich to start with.
Hell yeah.
And I don't know if y'all have had sandwiches after drinking, but your stomach's doing work. And there's stuff in your stomach and it's kind of sloshing around, and it's doing its thing. And, everything that was in my stomach came out during the process of having this sandwich. And needless to say, I threw up all over our napkins. And we apparently I didn't care because I just stopped eating the sandwich and just went to sleep.
Oh.
So the next day I heard all about it, not just from the person that I was having the sandwich with,
Literally
but from
everyone.
the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
And mortifying, absolutely mortifying. I was done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's literally my most embarrassing moment while inebriated.
You only have sad stories.
So we're gonna go back to you, Ren.
Okay.
And then we're going to go back to
The night I almost died. So I got invited to this really stupid dinner at my last job. I was leaving it. I was pretty much already out, and they were like, we're going to have a dinner just to, celebrate the careers of the two people who were leaving. And I was like, whatever, it's free food. I'm going to go. So literally all of upper management are like the worst people ever, but I'm the only one who vocalized that and just didn't care. So everyone else is like sitting there. Upper management is like awkwardly had to invite me there, but they don't like me. So it's like a weird environment, and we're all just eating food, and I'm like, whatever. I don't care. I'm out. I get a free meal at Trinity. Like, let's go. So I'm sitting there, whatever. Upper management leaves. The rest of us, it's 4 people. We're like, yeah, let's keep this party going. So now the drug dealer that I work with is like, I'm going to be the one ride, and we're going to go to Pawtucket from here. And I'm the only person who's going to give you a ride. And I'm like, this sounds like a really bad idea, but I'm going to go because he's probably going to pay for drinks. So get some drinks in us. We're in Pawtucket. I'm like, my car's all the way in Providence, and he's way more goofed up than the rest of us. This is a bad idea. So he invited his buddies. He's hanging out with them. So it's me and the 2 other people. Like, why did we even come here? This was really stupid. We're all like goofed up right now. We should just go back. And I was like, listen, I'll get an Uber. We'll go back. And they're like, okay. My male friend that we're with, coworker, he's like, yo, I need to stay with so-and-so because, you know, he brought us here. Like, I'll feel bad. He's the kind of person who will, like, get upset if we leave. And I'm like, listen, she's got to open. I have, like, a new job. Like, we can't be here right now. And he's like, yo, it's fine. Like, just go. So he ends up telling the really, really drunk guy, like, we're leaving. He ends up getting really mad that we were going to leave without him. He's like, yo, get in the car. I'm going to give you a ride home. Lots of curse words happening. Like, I'm going to give you a ride back to your car. I got you, fam. So I'm like, yo, that was a very spirited discussion. That's not a person who's okay to drive. Very drunk drug dealer with a rental car. This is a bad idea.
With a rental car. So he does not
I gotta get this back to Enterprise in 24.
Yeah, he does not give an F about this rental car or tell you that because we're on curbs. He's like, yo, we all trying to get high. I was like, not really, because my anxiety's high. I myself don't need to be high right now. But okay. So then I'm like, maybe this will ease my nerves. It doesn't, because I have one girl who's on the verge of tears next to me. The other guy's having like an asthma attack. And we took one of the crazy drug dealer's friends with us who's like just high and drunk. And he's like, yeah, man, you're on the curb. Ha 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 ha. And the rest of us are like, you need to get off the curb. We are going to die. We're going to hit that person walking on the curb at 2:00 in the morning. Yeah. Like, we're all terrified.
Did it happen?
No.
Oh, so taxi cab confessions.
He just keeps going and like loops all around Providence. And I'm like, our cars are right over there. I just need you to stop and bring us there. And he's like, no, we're trying to have a good night. I'm going to get you home. Like, lots of cursing. We're going like 80 miles an hour on a 25-mile-an-hour road. Very, 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 very scary. Like, I'm not okay. The kid next to me is having, like, honestly, an asthma attack. I'm trying to keep it together. Where it all comes to a head is we're driving down the street by the mall, and there's this big Escalade, and they keep weaving in front of us because our car's trying to go around them in like a very jerk move, and the people are like, nah, I'll get hit before I let you go around me. So I'm like, yo, you need to calm down, dude, because like these people look like they would pop off with us. We need to not do that. So I'm like very drunk, high, not in a good mindset, and this is happening. He decides that he's going to keep going, so we're just on a straight road at like 2:00 in the morning, just like making this car very, very mad. And he's like aggressively shouting like, yo, homie, what the F, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, stop, stop, stop. Doing like the mom in the back seat, like, you need to stop, you need to stop. Kid next to me, hyperventilating, girl on the verge of tears, but trying to be cool about it. She's like, yeah, dude, you need to stop. But like one tear coming down her face. So they end up like gassing it through a red light, and then like a block ahead, they like turn sideways and like park and like go to get out. This dude that I'm in the car with waits at the red light, but then gasses it up to the other car and throws it to park. So I'm like terrified. I'm like, no. So I'm like a little drunk girl who slinks onto the floor of the car, and I'm like, we're gonna get shot. So I'm like, if I duck low, I'm not gonna get Tupac right now. And we had to like call him back into the car so we didn't get into a physical altercation. And it was very terrifying. He ends up dropping us off at the car, and all of us got in my friend who was having an asthma attack's car. And we were all just like so shook that we were like, that was messed up. Like, we need to talk to him. We need to give him intervention in the morning. And like, we all couldn't drive because we were so goofed up from it. Yeah, we were like kidnapped for like 2 hours, like in this guy's car.
Oh, man.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
The night Ren almost died.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're okay.
I'm glad I'm okay too.
Jim, let's hear it.
It's hard for me to choose which story I want to tell, because I have a lot of good moments. Like there was the time I drank for the first time, and I decided to just punch the living hell out of my penis to prove to everyone that I was drunk. There was the time that I tried to join a threesome without asking. I have stories, but I'll tell you two that are legit stories that I can tell.
Yes.
And both of them involve my absolute kryptonite. And if you grew up in the late 90s, early millennium, you might have heard of a liqueur called Aftershock. If you don't, I will explain it.
It's old school Fireball.
Exactly. It was a cinnamon liqueur that had the same proof as Jack Daniels, but had the consistency of maple syrup. And I drank it like it was milk. And I love milk. I should also say that when you bought a bottle of Aftershock, it was filled, like the inside was filled with sugar crystals. Like the inside looked like the Fortress of Solitude.
It really did, yeah.
Oh my God.
One night, we decided we were going to go to Lupo's Heartbreak Hotel for rock night. And my friends were going to do some drugs. And they didn't have enough to pass around. So my friend, because he was a good friend, went out and bought me a bottle of Aftershock, which I enjoy for no good reason. Mm-hmm. And I decided to kill the entire bottle.
Oh my God.
Straight to my face. We go to the club, and it's all rock music. And I, at the time, was a giant techno raver. I did glow sticks, and I think I've told everybody here that's at this table.
Yeah, I knew that about you.
Yeah, that techno dancing is the one dance that does not look good as you get older. I will not be able to teach my kids raving. But at this club, I was in peak performance.
Did you have glow sticks with you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, of course. I had glow sticks. I had lights.
Oh, my God. The finger lights?
Oh, yeah. Yep. I looked like E.T., just ouch, but in a very
Oh, my God.
in a very theatric manner. And I was doing this to Rob Zombie, which is a Clash, trying to, do flips and whoa and like swallowing lights while at the same time, like, burn in the back of my Dragula. As you all know, maple syrup, like thick liqueur, does not mix well with jumping around. I excused myself to go to the bathroom, to which I threw up for what I thought was 25 minutes. And I was giving myself a lot of leeway. I was like, man, I'm in here for a while. I was in that bathroom for 2.5 hours. And club bathrooms are, like, we're talking, I don't know if you've ever been to a seedy club, but we're talking like a film of water on the ground. Oh. And I'm kneeling in it. I remember one of my friends, and by the way, I was in there for so long, you'd think one of my friends were like, we should get him home. Nope.
Nobody wants to find a corpse.
No, I had a friend that decided to come and grab me a thing of toilet paper, gave it to me, which I immediately dropped on the ground. And we don't know what's on. Well, we know what's on the ground.
Yeah.
Picked it up and wiped it right across my face.
Oh.
I was finally taken out by two of my lady friends. One on holding up each arm as they carried me out. Got back to the my dorm room at college, and in our dorm room, right when you walk in by the desk to like register to walk in, we had this giant banner for Harambe, which was a college dance.
Not the gorilla.
Oh no, it was a big dance.
I only know the gorilla.
Harambe.
To which I remember turning around, looking at it, and going, hell yeah, I'm going. And then face first, falling right through the banner, ripping it in half, falling into the trash can behind it. To which the RA, the resident assistant, had to get me out of the trash can. To which I immediately went, ha ha, sorry, then threw up on my shoes. And if we have time, I apologize. I'm going to make this quick. I have one more story that I have to tell. And if there are any young kids listening, they need to go to bed now. This is going to be the story of the first time I lost my virginity.
Oh, God, this is the best story
All
I've
right,
heard.
here we go.
I was at Hampton Beach, New Hampshire. I had met this woman that was, well, she was a girl. We all were young at the time. And I had never met her before. And she was attractive. And we decided, I think something's going to come of this today. She told me, I'm a bartender. No one can drink me under the table.
Oh.
And I decided to make her prove it to me. And none of you know me, but back in the day, I was known as the Iron Stomach. I'm not proud of it, but I drank a lot. And to this day, no one has drank me under the table, at least in a competition.
Okay.
And in college, it was always a competition. Always. So we drank. What did we drink? Aftershock.
Oh, my God.
A beautiful red viscous liqueur.
Viscous.
We drank a lot and then did the deed. About 10 minutes into it, she threw up.
Because it's gross sounding.
Oh, yeah. You know, anyone that has sex with me will agree. I won't lie.
Oh, my God.
She throws up. She throws up red.
Oh.
My friends come back just in time for me to jump out of the bedroom, full birthday suit, going, someone needs to help her. She needs medical attention. She was fine. I really need to tell you, she was perfectly okay.
Sure.
That night, she ended up doing it with one of my friends, and I never talked to him again. So she was okay.
Oh, my God.
But I had to leave. I was wasted. I left the hotel room, walked down to the beach at 2 p.m.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
And my friend Chris, who was nice enough to follow me, did. To make sure that I didn't do anything stupid. I still did. I walked across that beach screaming at the top of my lungs, and I will edit this, but I was screaming, Chris, I had sex with her, and she's throwing up blood. Over and over and over again.
Oh my God.
At one point, and this is not a joke, I walked straight through a sandcastle that children were building
At 2 p.m.
2 p.m. on like a Tuesday.
Oh my God.
And she's throwing up blood. Here comes Godzilla.
Oh my God, dude.
Children crying. I'm not aware.
And that's that.
I come back to the hotel. That girl's gone. I fall asleep until 9 p.m. at night.
Oh my God.
Yep.
So that's it.
And that was how I lost my virginity. I will always hold that dear.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Notice how I didn't say the name of the girl.
Nope. Yeah.
Who was it?
I don't. Oh, you know what? Who cares? Because no one knows who it is. I'm not going to say her last name.
Okay.
But her first name, you will know right away. This sounds like someone that would drink half a bottle of Aftershock and then have sex with someone who she's never met. Her first name was Mona.
Oh.
God. Oh my God. So yeah, man, I think we've all had some fun telling these stories tonight.
Yep.
So
Yeah, that was actually cool.
that was cool, man.
I'm Jim. Have a great night, everybody.
Guys, thanks for listening this week on the Red Beard Podcast. Cooley and I will be going to New York Comic Con next week. So we will give you a little bit of prep on what we're going to do. We haven't decided if we're going to have an episode next week because we may actually just do a live one. But we will keep you posted on our social media outlets.
Have a great time, guys.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, and definitely make sure you reach out to us about this episode and let us know which one of these stories actually resonates with you.
Yeah.
Tell us your own stories too.
Word.
Also, watch Donkey Punch.
Ren.
Watch Neo Yokio. It was weird as hell.
Yeah, and Neo Yokio was a great movie. Great
Definitely.
show.
Great show.
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 It was 6 episodes, 22 minutes each. Really good shit.
Ezra Koenig from Vampire Weekend made it for no reason.
Yeah. Ezra Koenig?
Koenig.
Koenig?
Yeah.
Koenig. Also, I just want to say thank you to my mom and my dad for having me.
What?
And have a good night.
All right. Later.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Red Beard Podcast. And remember, please make sure to like us on our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and subscribe to us on YouTube and iTunes to make sure you get all of our latest videos and episodes. And you can always find us and comment on anything we've talked about or what you'd like to hear at redbeardpodcast.com.